Topic today is strength training, an alternative approach. Dr. Nerenberg interviews Dr. Kanti. Now, as a world champion powerlifter, bodybuilder, I've been exposed to a very traditional approach of lifting heavy weights, going 4 sets, 3 reps, going heavy, making sure I would get a lot of protein, eating protein 6 times a day. I'm getting my amino acids, making sure I'm getting antioxidants to help offset the free radicals that are created through the exercise, and to also strengthen my immune system because the immune system's compromised for a while after the workout. There's certain variables that we're going to learn about and talk about today with Dr. Kanti that are different than we normally focus on. We're going to be talking about particularly the need for oxygen, the role of oxygen in strength development, whether it's strength particularly in weightlifting, but also strength in terms of running. The role of lactic acid in injury. We'll talk about certain amino acids, the role of creatine, and the energy sources, the fast burn, the slow burn within ourselves. And very importantly, in terms of health and strength and longevity, the acid-alkaloid balance within ourselves. So we're going to talk about certain supplements that we never hear about in traditional approaches to strength training. Some which will keep us more alkaline, such as alfalfa, rye. So we'll be hearing about aspects that we normally don't hear about that will facilitate the development of strength. And the development of strength has to do with recovery from the lactic acid, reducing the lactic acid buildup, recovery from injury to micro tears, and preventing the injuries to begin with. And a very important aspect has to do with deep breathing before we exercise and after, to keep the muscles relaxed so they can be generating more energy. Deep diaphragmatic breathing from way down is a very important part of developing the energy that's necessary for the strength. Whether it's a quick burst of energy or slower forms of energy. We have the energy source from creatine, we have it from the glucose, from the amino acids, pyruvate. We'll talk about the different energy pathways, the aerobic and the anaerobic pathways. And along these lines, I should tell you that as a 69-year-old weightlifter, and I've been lifting for 55 years, over 55 years now, and took the title when the strongest man in the world, having set world records on 3 different lifts, the bench press, the power pull-up, and the T-bar strongman pull. Eventually, I started getting blood pressure spikes. My blood pressure started going up, which happens when you're lifting heavy, your blood pressure does go up. You get a spike. The issue I started finding was sometimes my blood pressure would stay elevated for a period of time. And so I had to be especially careful because I did suffer a heart attack 9 years ago, and then I went into labile hypertension about 3 years ago. So I had to then deal with certain health issues that really made me pay attention to, particularly the oxygen content. So in addition to the deep breathing that Dr. Kanti is going to really emphasize, I've also read in alternative medicine that they recommended to oxygenate your muscles through using an oxygen tank. It says the next best thing to hyperbaric oxygen chambers. Hyperbaric oxygen chambers, very high pressured oxygen, and it really just forces oxygen throughout your blood system. It helps get over burns. They initially was used for deep sea divers so they didn't get the bends coming up to when they came up too rapidly from the deep sea. But also there's evidence indicates it facilitates getting over strokes. So it's been recommended, and I would read in different alternative medicine newsletters by very reputable professionals, that using an oxygen tank would help. Well, I've recently, when I've been lifting heavy, I've used my oxygen tank. And you can then adjust what level you take it on. So I like to use about 4 liters a minute. So I'll put that on, turn that up, about 4 liters. And that works really well for me.